Hello, Mr. Randy Duck, and welcome back for another video. Today I've got 3 replays for you in the Tier 7 British Heavy Premium Tank, the FV201 A45. Now, I had a viewer basically sent in a request for me to get some replays in this tank, and I thought, you know what, it's quite a niche little heavy which you don't see that often, so I thought I'll get some replays, and this is what I've got for you. So the first replay we've got for you today is top tier, where there is 1 enemy light tank and 1 enemy artillery. Now this heavy tank, it's basically, I don't know if I kind of sort of like it, but I wouldn't say it's that great of a heavy tank, if I'm honest. It's definitely far better out there. Having said that, I do quite enjoy it, but maybe I'm just a weirdo. You've got 150 alpha, basically, a little P shooter. So you've got a rapid firing pea shooter with 150 alpha, but you can pick up damage quite quickly because you do reload very quickly, and sometimes you sort of shoot a tank and before they've really realised, you go, oh, it hasn't really hurt very much, you then suddenly can start picking up a bit more extra damage in. It can be really good when you are top tier, but it will struggle when you're fighting the old tier 9 tanks because your armour isn't particularly great, if I'm honest. You've got 10 degrees of gun depression. So when you are top tier, you can go sort of hold down and your armour will work quite nicely. But when you start fighting those sort of tier 9s, tier 8s, your armour, they can just go straight through your turret quite often. But you do have 1500 hit points, so you can just use those hit points. And one thing it is quite good at is right now, you can see I've just tracked this heavy tank in the open, and because you reload so quickly, you can quite often perma track tanks. And that's kind of a feature which happens quite regularly, I find, when I'm playing this tank. So it's one sort of nice thing about it. But like I say, I do sort of enjoy it. I've free marked this and I've free marked the black version, which is exactly the same tank with the black skin. But on this map here, we're starting to take quite a lot of control, and I've kind of realised that I can push around to this medium because he's isolated and there's no one who actually can cover him once I've actually pushed in. So I'm just going to push right in and just try and fight this top tier medium tank here, trying to, at this point I'm just trying to use my body to try and stop him escaping. He unfortunately does damage my gun here, so I wasn't actually right now, so I can't actually shoot him and finish him off and pick up the kill, which is a shame. Otherwise I would have picked up that kill, but yeah, that's just how it is. But we've had a decent start to this game, 2,500 damage and 1 kill and a little bit of assistance. But you can see it's kind of a bit of a domination. That's where this tank, like I say, when you are top tier, you can be a little bit of a bully. Like when you go into those sort of start fighting those tier 5 and tier 6 tanks, you can bully them and just use your hit points just to push in and just out DPM and just trade out your hit points and getting like 2 shots in for their 1. But we're having like 2,700 damage, 3 kills. I'm pretty confident we've won this game. It's just about how much more we can get out of this now. This tier 7 Japanese heavy tank's probably got the most hit points here, and I'm going to try and focus him and just try and get as much damage as I possibly can. He does get taken out, and that puts us on 3,100 damage with 4 kills. Enemy artillery is looking at us, but thankfully he actually shoots someone else. And yeah, like I said, this game here, this first replay is a win. It's just about how much damage we can get out of this now, because it's kind of been a bit of a stomp. I mean, we did push quite aggressively. We kind of took the advantage of the fact that knowing that we were top tier and just knowing that I wanted to get into the action as fast as we can. I mean, we've got a top speed of this tank about 36 kilometers an hour, so it's not the quickest of tanks, but it's not the slowest as either. It does tend to get to that top speed quite well unless you're sort of going up a hill. And what you've got, I think on your standard rounds, you've got 200 penetration with 884 shell velocity. Your premium rounds, you've got 244 penetration with 1,105 shell velocity. But it's just a little pea shooter, basically. You have to be careful. So when you start fighting the tier 9s, you can't just poke out and trade a shot, because they're going to hit you a lot harder and you're only going to hit them for 150. So you need those right opportunities to be able to get that gun slinging. But when you do find that opportunity to track a target, you can quite often keep them perma-tracked, which is nice. So in this replay, there's 1 tank remaining, and it is, I think, for the top gun, if we can get this kill. I've seen a little opportunity that we may be able to get a shot if he actually crosses here. He does cross. We try and get a shot in. We actually only track him in place, but it's quite handy because it stopped him moving. And you can see we reload quick enough to be able to get that kill before our friendly team get there. And that brings us into first replay, but we're still with 2 more replays to come. So let's just see how we got on. We got 6 kills, 3,600 damage. That should be the ace tanker there and the high caliber. But that's it for replay number 1. Let's move on to replay number 2. Okay, so here we are for replay number 2 on Fearful Ridge. This time it is tier 8 matchmaking, and there is 1 enemy artillery and 1 enemy light tank. Other than that, fairly sort of balanced matchmaking with a split between the TDs, mediums and heavy tanks. So initially I'm going to try and push to what I would say is sort of the heavy flank. My biggest concern pushing that way is the artillery. Can we have shots into us? But not really a great deal we can do to avoid that if we want to, unless we want to sit there and camp, but we don't really want to do that. So we're going to try and push in and see what we can do. We do actually have quite a lot of support coming this way. It looks like only a few tanks have really gone to the other side. So it means I'm going to try and utilise that support I have and probably push fairly aggressively to at least sort of win this side, win this area of the fight as quick as we can. Because if a lot of our tanks are this way, I don't want to get bogged down by a couple of tanks. I tried to go for the track shot into that tiger there. Unfortunately it missed and he's now pulled back into cover. But we're just going to keep our advance moving on. I've noticed there is a tank in the sort of K1 area. That is awkward for us because it means when we push, he could have shots into us. You can see the enemy artillery is trying to shoot at us there. But I think, judging where that shell came from, I think if I'm sort of sitting just behind this heavy tank here, I'm probably safe from the artillery unless I back up enough. But I don't want to be stuck here all day. I want to try and push in because, as you notice on the top right hand of the screen, quite a few of the enemy heavy tanks or tanks have started to progress along that sort of side of the map. And I feel we have the overmatch here. I'm going to push in, even though I know I'm going to get shot potentially from this Rex there on the left-hand side. But I just, just so many tanks on the right-hand side of this map. But we need to sort of win this area quickly. We've got to push in. We can't just sit here and wait because otherwise we're going to end up losing the other side. So I'm going to try and push into this low ground and now hopefully come behind these sort of 3 tanks here. But what I don't want to do is go in by myself straight away, because what's going to happen if I push in, there's a Freedom here and I think a Tiger and a TD. They're just going to turn around and push into me. At the moment they don't necessarily know I'm here because I'm not detected. I'm trying to wait until my team get a little bit closer before I push in, and then I can go in together and once they're distracted. Tiger does poke down. He's now onto a 2-shot to us. We damage his ammo rack. We should be able to have the finish here, and we do, picking up our first kill. Again, just waiting for our team just to engage this Freedom, and now we're going to push in and try and get behind and get the shots in, so we actually go in together rather than go in individually. So we're just trying to get a shot into the drive wall here. I want to try and track him in place because if there's a Freedom side on like this, his armor's really easy for me to penetrate. I don't really want him to go front on because then it'd be a little bit more awkward. And now we are just going to keep him tracked here. We have tracked him, and again you can just see good reload. We can just keep him permanently tracked like that, and we go on picking up about 500 track assistance and 1,500 damage. So a decent start to this game. We are winning. It's a 14 versus 9 now. But a lot of the enemy team have sort of, I guess, almost won the other side. But we do still have a medium and tank destroyer on the right hand side sort of covering our base. So that's going to give us enough time to try and get over there. But I do want to push over there just in case they push through and go into our cap circle. I don't want to end up getting capped out. I want to try and head over there and try and get some damage in. We may even be able to, if our medium stays alive long enough on the hill on the right hand side at sort of K0 line. If he stays alive long enough, we might be able to get side shots into those tanks on the hill. There is an enemy tank destroyer kind of stopping our path, which is a bit awkward though. I don't want to push into that Italian TD, so I'm going to wait a little bit and try and get some shots over into this Tiger here. We put 1 shot into him there. We're trying to get a shot into the track wheel if we can, just to track him in place. But we do end up picking up the kill there and getting rid of that heavy. Getting our second kill of the game, putting us under 2,000 damage with 500 assistance. Now this tank destroyer has got taken out by our friendly team. It's going to allow us to push up. And I'm just going to push straight across the map here. to try and get to the rest of the damage, and just see if we can spot those tanks up, potentially crossing towards our base. At this point, again, it feels fairly comfortable that we are going to get the win now. It's just about getting, making the most out of this game. Unfortunately, maybe we haven't we thought we were taking the quickest route, but it probably turns out we haven't, because there's so much rubble around here. I should have just gone left, and actually, I would have already been a little bit further forward, and maybe would have picked up a little bit more damage than I have already. But I'm just trying to spot some tanks here and get some bit of assistance. We do spot an enemy T20. This is our spot, so any shots going into this tank is going to be our assistance now. Again, I know the artillery is over there, because I saw that shell fire early on, and he does sort of randomly keep targeting me. So I'm trying to push up and just try and spot that tank. And you can see I am picking up the assistance now, and we actually managed to pick up another kill on that tier 8 heavy tank there. And now we've started to rack in the assistance with sort of just shy of 1,700 assistance. Try and get the finish on the T20 there, we do. Now we're just trying to finish off this enemy equalizer to try and get as much damage into this artillery as possible, because this game is all but won. We're just hoping to try and get a few more shots in. Enemy heavy tank to the right is trying to shoot us. We snap that one in, picking up the kill for our 5th kill. And now we're just seeing if we can pick up the kill on the enemy artillery. But he does get taken out, and that is it for the replay number 2. With one more final replay to come. Let's see how we got on with this one. We got 5 kills, just shy of 3,000 damage and 2,000 assistance with the ace tanker there. So let's move on to the final replay to see how we get on. Okay, so here we are for the final replay on Ghost Town, where we are top tier and there is only one enemy light tank with no enemy artillery. So already from the get-go on this map, with this matchmaking, with no artillery, I'm thinking there's great potential to have a good game. Going into this game, I'm feeling fairly confident in having a decent game. So we're going to try and push over, and initially I like to just get to pretty much where our light tank's just heading now. I like to get over there just to spot anything coming across that side, and then sort of work out where the team are as always, and then just go from there. So I can see 2 sort of tanks crossing, but I can also see some heavy tanks just at sort of the B sort of free area, and I'm going to try and head over there to get some damage. I'm not going to poke up on that ridge because they'll probably already be gone by the time I've driven up there. I'm just going to try and catch out this medium who's now in the open. We damage his engine. If we shoot him again, we may even set him on fire. We do set him on fire, and we do burn him out to pick up our 1st kill of the game. So a very decent start. Swap to the small mini map because I just want to know exactly where these tanks are. And now we're going to try and finish off this enemy light tank. He does get taken out by our friendly challenger though. And now we're trying to shoot a shot into that tiger there to try and track him in place. If we could track him in the open, it'd be really, really nice. I'm just hoping this enemy medium tank actually comes around the corner. Looks like this tiger's backed off, which is going to give us enough time to start shooting this enemy medium. I'm just going to try and get as much damage in as I can while that tiger's not poking me. Try and get into the drive where we do track him in place. Hopefully we should have to finish here. He does get taken about our team, but now we need to try and pull back. We're kind of not, we're trading too many shots. I'm actually going to try and side scrape off of this and try and limit, or make it a little bit harder at least for them to actually pen me, because I wasn't making it very difficult for them to pen me in that stage. Trying to get a shot into the drive wall of that enemy medium tank there, into the Ram Panzer. Wasn't able to do it, but we're having a decent start to this game now. It's still fairly even. Going to go for the drive wheel into the Tiger, and again now we do track me in place, and this is what I'm talking about. When they don't have a repair kit, you reload so quickly. If they don't have a good crew, you can just keep them permanent trapped in this tank, and that's exactly what's happening now. The poor Tiger can't even get this gun down to get a shot into me, and we track him in, picking up all his health there on either damage or track assistance. And now we're going to push in straight into this enemy tier 6 heavy tank here. He can pen this quite easy like this, We're not hold down here. We're just trying to trade him 1 for 1 just to kill him as quickly as we possibly can. I just wanted to get rid of him or win the position. And we do so, picking up 3,000 damage now and 3 kills and 1,000 assistance damage. Still a close game, 9 versus 7. It looks like a lot of the heavy tanks are over this side. The problem I've got is all my tanks don't seem to really want to come with me. I want to go in and fight, if I'm honest, and try and get around there, but I kind of need, you know, there's a Dreadnought there, there's quite a few top tier heavies. I don't really want to go in there by myself on 700 hit points. I'm now kind of getting spotted by this enemy tank destroyer in the base, and I'm trying to pull back here because I can't cross there now. I won't make that. He'll kill me before I do so. So I'm going to have to pull back and kind of adjust what I want to do, because we are starting to lose this game, but it looks like all our tanks are heading towards our cap circle. You know, really, you know, I'm having an alright game here. There's quite a lot of hit points left. I want to try and push in and get more damage out of this game. I don't want to go to the cap circle, but there's no way I'm going to be able to push into all those tanks in front of me and live. You know, not with 400 hit points. It's just not going to happen. So I'm going to have to try and pull back. Now, what I'm kind of thinking at this point, it looks like we're going to cap out. So that's probably going to cause that Japanese tank destroyer to try and go for the reset, because otherwise he's going to lose the game. So I thought, well, my best chance of damage now is probably to try and catch out that tank, and that's what I'm going to go and do. So I'm moving to this ridge just now. If he does cross on the left hand side, I'll actually be in a position to shoot him. And that's what's happened. These tanks have gone for the reset, and now I'm just trying to get shots in, because they basically got to ignore me and go for the reset, otherwise they are going to lose. And I'm just trying to get as much damage in as I possibly can. It looks like someone does get one reset in. I should have the farm here on this enemy Japanese tank destroyer. But at this point, I really just want us to get out the cap. I mean, to be fair, I mean, I guess, you know, it's not guaranteed win if we don't get out the cap circle, but I'm on 4,000 damage. I just want to battle right now, if I'm honest, because this Dreadnought's about to cross in the open, and I'd have the farm on him. I'd be able to kill this heavy tank here, but we just cap out. I think I probably could have had over 5,000 quite comfortably, maybe 6 if we didn't cap out there. But we did cap out, so that's all we could do. We do get 4 kills, 4,300 damage, and 1,000 assistance with 1,000 blocked, bringing us an end to the replay. As you say, I've had a viewer request for this tank, that's why I got the replays for you today. So I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, thank you for your amazing support, and happy tanking.
Hadouken!